That John Reeves, he's everywhere on the media right now. He's on, I think he's going to be on TV tonight, but certainly on Mike Hosking this morning. And we got him here in person. We got a privilege. Hey, how you doing, man?
Good evening, Max.
Well,
I'm good.
why you got suddenly all this attention? What have you done? Have you
Well,
robbed the bank?
it could possibly be I'm the only person prepared to speak to the media about the issues on the Inter-Island Ferry from both a passenger's perspective, but also from the perspective that it affects freight as well. And so I'm a bit more holistic, whereas you've got the trucking lobby talking, but they're just about trucks, all right? So I'm a little bit more of a broader person. I look at rail freight, truck freight, and passengers.
Right. So the ferries, I take it they're not been too reliable lately. And
No, actually, Inter-Islander,
that?
which is owned by KiwiRail, are having a really bad state of affairs with their ferries are breaking down constantly, daily. And the Blue Bridge, the privately owned operation's also breaking down. So basically, it's very difficult to get across from Wellington to Picton and vice versa right now by foot traffic or by car or rail ferry or
Geez,
trucks.
John, that would be affecting our economy because a lot of good stuff has to transfer. I mean, even our electricity comes from the South Island. So you imagine all the goods, the trucks, the cattle trucks, sheep trucks, all these things would be carting goods back.
They're all being affected, apart from electricity, which doesn't have to be carted on the rail ferries, which is, thank goodness, we have a cable for that. Modern technology, Max, I know you'll get there one day. But, yeah, so basically, if we look at the passenger side, yeah, basically the big rail ferries can move 500 people. Now, can you imagine what would happen if you had 10 flights from Christchurch to Wellington cancelled with 10 50-seater planes from Air New Zealand? There would be ballistic state of affairs going on. But each time a rail ferry is cancelled, that's how many people are affected on each journey.
Yeah, you're quite right, because I imagine the politicians would be really upset if the flights are up.
Totally. But what we've got right now, we've got both the state-owned enterprise failing and the private enterprise. Now, I'm going to put this in context. Blue Bridge Ferries is owned by a US bank, okay? It's a private company. It can pull out if it wanted to. It's just acquired a new ferry, but even the newest ferry they've got is 15 years old.
Wow.
KiwiRail's ferries.
What's happening? Is there any reason for this, or is what's the quick fix, money. John? What's your solution?
Money. They're buying second and third hand ferries. Which, look, if you owned a 15, well, maybe not 15, let's look at KiwiRail. Their oldest ferry is 28 years old, right? So if you had a 28 years old car, you had it always maintained, things will still break on it because it's 28 years old. And basically, we've got this happening with all the Inter-Island ferries because KiwiRails are between 24 and 28 years old. Blue Bridges are, apart from the 15-year-old one, their other one's also 20-odd years old. So they're pretty old ships, and they're used night and day in the saltwater, in sometimes very rough water. So things are going to break. And being an older ferry, they'll break more often.
Well, do you know, John, it just seems that every time we watch the news, it's more money needs to be spent by this government. More money. And look, they've been spending money
but you're lucky.
On every other way they have.
This is where I can interject you with some great news for you.
You interrupt me, John. It's nice.
This is great news. Under the last government, which was a New Zealand First Labour coalition, Winston and Shane insisted that new railway ferries were bought because none new ones have been bought since the 1990s. And the money was found. And yes, in about 3 years' time, 2 brand new purpose-built rail ferries, Inter-Island ferries, are going to arrive in New Zealand. But those are the first new ones we've had for over 25 years. All the rest are second-hand hand-me-downs from other lines. So we've got about 3 more years of potential disruption with old ferries going on.
So what's your solution, John? You're going to put a flying fox in or something?
Well, no, what I want to see, and the group I'm from, the PTUA, we want to see an independent inquiry to find out exactly what the state of affairs is really going on with both operations.
John, well, look, we got all the expertise there. We got bloody a whole department full of experts. Why can't we come up with a solution? This inquiry thing is what the government does every time.
I know, but we need to know
it because
one thing I want to see, and look, this is just personal. I'm not a shipping professional expert in it. However, perhaps we need to say no ferry can ply the Cook Strait unless it's under 17 years old. Something like that. Not allowed for
take a committee to make that decision?
Well, I mean, we may have to. It's a State Highway 1 corridor, and it's severely affected.
That's true.
And so we have to treat it like State Highway 1 and part of the main trunk railway line. And currently, it's failing daily, and tens of thousands of people and thousands of tons of freight are being affected by it. So we've got to have some action on this.
Look, folks, I better tell you something about this interview that John Reeves, right in front of us right now, has put off huge interviews all over the globe, or people wanting to talk to him. So just to be with us. So look, John, thank you so much.
Thanks, Max. Pleasure to interrupt you again. Be interviewed by you.
All right. We'll see you soon, my old friend. Bye-bye. Thanks again.